Bee and Puppycat is an animated web show that was created in 2013 by Natasha Allegri, who you might know from her work on Adventure Time. Well, I never watched Adventure Time, so I didn't know her, but that's not the point. We are here to review the pilot. So, in the very first scene, we immediately meet our main character Bee as she is walking home in the rain.
I got fired today.
She understandably seems rather depressed about the situation, and as she thinks about jaywalking, she gets scolded by a cop. He's drawn with a donut and a piggy nose, which I found pretty funny. As Bee contemplates her fate, a weird creature lands on her head.
A cat? Maybe a dog?
And in the very next scene, we see that she took the animal home. She monologues dramatically and pretends to stab herself with her umbrella.
I'm such a loser. Ooh.
And a new character, whose name is Deckard, knocks at the door, asks about the firing, both blush and they have a very short but also very awkward conversation.
Hey,
Hey, Deckard.
I heard you lost your job?
Oh, yeah.
I really like watching pilots because the pacing is normally so strong and this show here is no different. The showrunners needed just a little bit more than 1 minute of runtime to let us know that our main character loves animals, is very socially awkward, has a self-depreciating sense of humor, is a bit dramatic, knows nothing about corporate hierarchy, is broke, and has a crush on Deckard who does like her back, but both seem to be unaware of each other's feelings. I'd say that's some pretty impressive character establishment right there. As they're chatting away, she accidentally hits Deckard in the crotch with her umbrella.
Oh my god!
She runs away to get some ice,
I'm shoving the crotch ice under the door!
but as she comes back, Deckard is gone and he left a casserole for her. Also her slamming the door and running away screaming had some great comedic timing. The following scene is a short but very aesthetic dream sequence that slightly foreshadows a reveal from episode 10.
Where are you guys going? Why does this make me feel so sad?
Also, this show made me Google whether lasagna is a casserole or not. According to the online dictionary Merriam-Webster, definitely yes. After waking up, she has to go to a meeting at the temp agency, where a guy scolds her for her spotty work history and her lack of higher education.
This is a temp agency, not a charity.
We also learn that Puppycat can talk to other animals, and he seems to have a rather huge ego, to say it mildly.
No, thank you.
Our main character then returns with pet toys and pet food that she dumpster dived for, but she totally forgot to get herself anything, further establishing her love for animals and her aloofness.
Crap, I ran out of food money! Relax, man. I'm not gonna eat your food.
All of a sudden, Puppycat receives a letter via his spell saying that he has to go to a temp job assignment. He accidentally joins him to some sort of alternate dimension, but the bug the Puppycat was just talking to dramatically whines about being left behind.
Am I not good enough?
In this pocket dimension, our heroes meet a weird cube, also called the Tempot, that wants to burn Bee alive for being an intruder. So at first, I wasn't sure if this might be a pure kid show, because of the bright colors and the cutesy art style, but no, there's definitely some dark stuff going on in this world. Puppycat then reveals to Bee, and to the audience, that he can talk to humans if he wants to, and he pretends that Bee's the new trainee who will shadow him to save her life.
Oh, like a trainee shadow. Welcome. Please proceed to fishbowl space.
Their assignment seems easy at first, because it is to babysit the giant fish who misses his mother, cries around and generally acts a bit like a grumpy toddler.
Hi, Wallace. What's wrong?
Okay, but the little kiss the Puppycat gave the fish baby, that was the cutest thing ever. The fish baby, whose name is Wallace, then asks for a story and Puppycat starts singing about a tragedy involving a space outlaw who turned into a monster after being betrayed. But at the end of the story, plot twist, Wallace the fish baby transforms into a monster and grabs Puppycat.
That's awful and very interesting.
In the following fight, Bee kind of forgets that she has a sword, which is really cute, and also a neat little detail to show her inexperience and unpreparedness. In the end, they do manage to kill the monster via Puppycat, laser, beam, railgun thingy? Question mark. It was funny.
Why?
So at first the show left it ambiguous whether Puppycat's story is true or not.
I liked your fairy tale, Puppycat. If you want, I can help you figure out a nice ending.
But in the very last scene, we see the Puppycat's reflection in the window instead of the space outlaw turned monster from the story. This does tell us about Puppycat's backstory, but I'm not sure if I like the reveal at this time. I feel like this could have been a really good mid-season or even season finale plot twist. Other than this, I like the pacing, I like the art, I like the acting, I like the humor, and I liked how dark it got at some points. My only other tiny complaint would be that the temp agency scene didn't really land. Like, I felt like the previous scenes had already established that Bee's life is a mess, and we didn't really need the dude spelling it out. And also, I didn't find the eating of the candy and running out of the room super funny. It was a bit too childish for me, but as we all know, humor is very, very subjective, so that's not like a big criticism or a deal breaker or anything. So when the episode ended, I at first had a lot of questions about Wallace the fish baby. Like, I feared that we just literally saw a baby die after getting possessed by a monster. But in one of the comics, Wallace's mom employs them to find him, and they do hear his voice, so we know that Wallace at least is not dead. Apparently, the comics tie up a lot of storylines from the show, which is great that they get finished, but I was left a bit unsatisfied with the ending of a few episodes. On the other hand, I totally understand that animation and voice acting costs a lot of time and money that the showrunners might not have. So I'm not mad that they chose the comic way, I understand it, but I would still prefer it if the show and the comic had either covered the exact same content or they had completely different storylines. I feel like making the consumer watch a show and read a comic to get the same storyline finished is a little bit inconvenient. Anyways, I'm still really excited for the next episodes to come and I will definitely review them. Okay, that's it from me. Bye!